Howdy, and welcome to the 16th episode of the Clay and Woodrow Show. And alongside me is my faithful producer over here, Mr. Don Cornelius.
Hello.
And Don, we're glad that you're in studio today. And if you need to email Don, just reach out to Don at soultrain@gmail.com. That's soultrain@gmail.com. And thank you for being here. We got a lot of stuff to handle today. This in the Timmy Tooper studio on the 17th floor of the Trellis Carpenter building. Just remember as well, right off the bat, let me say this, because sometimes I think we're known to lose our audience pretty quickly. But right off the bat, if you share on this one, if you share and make a comment, you will be in a drawing for a $200 gift certificate to Jake and Ed's, our good friends at Jake and Ed's, which, by the way, I believe are our sponsors today. And Jake and Ed's right here. Go see Steve and Shannon and all of our friends down at Jake and Ed's. We're getting close to tuxedo season, that prom season, wedding season. They can handle all of that for you. Mr. Producer, you and I are we're out of our prom days. Those are behind us. We're out of our wedding days. Those are behind us. But we can go over there. They got great brands like Peter Millar, Southern Tide, all kind of different things to go look over there at Jake and Ed's. It's your kind of go-to place. Now, I will say this. And somebody explained this to a friend of it. He says, Clay, you do realize on your show that you joke so much. When you stop joking, we cannot tell when you're being. So I'm going to say, well, now I'm being serious.
Yeah, this is a serious.
This is breaking news. Now, I will tell you this. I have gone to clothing stores in Manhattan, New Orleans, Chicago, all over. There's no finer men's clothing store. And I do mean this. This is serious than Jake and Ed's. There's nothing that I can't get at Jake and Ed's that I can go get in a big city, because they do custom stuff. But then if you want to get your son a t-shirt for Christmas, you know, they've got that as well. So Steve and Shannon do a phenomenal job. Jake and Ed's are our sponsors. But when you go in there, please tell them that the Clay, even if you go in there all of the time and the Clay and Woodrow Show really has no impact on you going into Jake and Ed's, would you just lie through your teeth and tell them that you're only here because of the Clay and Woodrow Show?
Yeah, that kind of lie is okay.
Yeah. And we all know Steve, he'll get, really perked up about stuff. So just let Steve know that you're there because of the Clay and Woodrow Show. We would appreciate that. So in other news, but don't forget to share and comment. And if we can, Mr. Producer, we'll remind them at the end as well, because, Christy Miller's probably checking out right now because she's afraid that we're about to start talking about sports. So, and by the way, in some ways we are, but this will be right up her alley, because I'm going to cover today. We're going to, once again, we like to unpeel, what do we say?
Peel back the onion.
Peel back the onion. Thank you. Peel back the onion of the halftime Super Bowl performance. And we've got this all figured out, and we're going to jump into that right away. But don't forget, share and comment. Do both of those things in order to be in the drawing or in the running for a $200 gift certificate from Jake and Ed's. So the halftime show, as you know, Mr. Producer, I'm not an NFL, guy, but we did have on the game at my house. I came back from church. We watched it we still had our phones. Of course, as a family, we didn't communicate with one another. That's crazy talk. But we had our phones in our hands and that kind of stuff, but we were all kind of sitting and watching. And so then the famous halftime show, comes up. And so, I don't know, 10 minutes after the halftime show, here come the Facebook post. And I absolutely almost pulled my hair out. Okay, so this is the way I understand it. So apparently people in our community specifically were shocked that Shakira and J-Lo had a performance and they were risque. Now, I'm going to be right up front. Did the halftime show, is it what I would have wanted? Absolutely not. Was it too risque? Absolutely. It was definitely too risque. That's not what the issue is. The issue was the people who were just shocked and flabbergasted of how risque it was. So let me get this straight, Mr. Producer. A woman whose only song we've ever heard of in our entire life is named Hips Don't Lie.
Hips Don't Lie.
Hips Don't Lie. We were surprised that she did not come out and do a somber pirouette to a violin solo. I'm pretty sure we knew what we were getting when they announced months before the event that it was going to be J-Lo, as I call her, as I know her, Jenny from the block.
Close friend of the show.
Close friend of the show, Jennifer Lopez. That we were shocked that and this too, could you believe it? That they were scantily clad.
I was expecting them in turtlenecks.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my whole thing. It's not that do I approve of it, do I not approve of it? It's the people that actually were shocked by it. So, and this I did not know. So my wife, after she read these kind of things, I was just like, my lands, this was up on my TV in my household that I am control of. And so a couple of days later, she came back, and I didn't know these things existed, but she went, and then the electronics department of Walmart, she showed me something that they had. And, I'm not a techie kind of guy.
Right.
You know that better than anyone.
No,
I'm not a
no,
techie kind of guy.
Not really.
So she says, Clay, you won't believe what they have. And so she actually bought me one. And this is what they have. So this is what this is. Now, this is new to me. This is techie. This is kind of the newest thing. But is it something, Mr. Producer? It's called a remote control. Okay. So they've got over here, you can channel up by pressing up, or you can channel down by pressing channel down. And so whatever is up on your TV, the TV that I'm in control of because it's my household, I can actually listen to this. I can change away from that programming.
No.
Yes. So believe it or not, the NFL and Pepsi are not in control of my living room, but actually I, as an adult and as a parent, can control these things. Now, believe it or not, even on the standard models, on these here remote controls, in the top, sometimes left-hand corner, I understand, but also sometimes in the top right-hand corner, there's typically a power on and a power off switch on these remote controls. And strangely, if you hit the power, guess what's going to happen? If you hit the power off switch, what's going to happen?
I'm floored by this. I'm just taken aback. I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, so if I hit the power off switch, the screen that's up there, let's say, for example, just as an example, there's something up there that I don't appreciate. If I hit that power off switch, my TV turns off. And what was up on the screen, I can no longer see.
It's almost like the power went off.
Exactly. Almost like the power went off. And so I found out through my loving wife that I actually have control over these things. And so like let's just say it's not something risque. Let's just say it's bad television. I can use this here device and I can go to other opportunities. For example, I think I have 279 channels at my house. And if I would have found something to be offensive, if my math is correct, I have 278 other opportunities to find something that perhaps would have been appropriate. Or I can just get on Facebook and say that I am shocked that the NFL halftime show, which by the way has been having wardrobe malfunctions even a decade ago, that I'm shocked that Shakira and J-Lo. Now, these same Facebookers, a couple years ago when Maroon 4, 5, 6, whoever he is, when Adam Levine is up there shirtless and inked out,
I was
silence. Hey, listen, it was a little hot up on stage. Adam needed to air out a little bit, and everything's fine. All I'm asking for is just a little bit of common sense. Now, there's going to be some nut that's going to say, I can't believe the halftime show didn't bother Clay. Is that what I said?
No.
That's not what I said.
Absolutely not.
I said that through inventions,
modern marvels.
Modern marvels. Mr. Producer, you're a wordsmith.
Thank you.
Little bearded Shakespeare over there. That I'm able to control these things in my household, and that the NFL does not have that type of power over my life. So these types of things, that's what we're peeling back the onion.
Take back control of your house.
Yeah. Now, listen, since I'm already going to be in trouble, and somebody, because they got to share and comment in order to win this here Jake and Ed's thing.
Yeah, this is going to be big.
Hold on. I got to take my blood pressure medicine. This whole Shakira thing, it's got me a little bit stirred up. One of the comments is going to be, Well, you know, listen, I'm a Christian. I'm proud of that. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, and sometimes a very horrible example of that, but I try my best. I'm a sinner saved by grace, all those kind of things. But somebody's going to post, well, as a Christian, I can't believe that Clay that thinks that halftime show's okay. It's going to come. And then I'm just going to take more blood pressure medicine. Okay, so hold on. Talk amongst yourself out there. Hold on. Oh, I just thought something. Woody was in the room with me. Do you think I'm going to let Woody watch Shakira and J-Lo, Jenny from the Block, pole dance? He's 2 years old. I had the power. Now the other thing, okay, I probably need to stop, Mr. Producer, but they would, in their Facebook post, they would give you a play-by-play. Now keep in mind, they were offended. They couldn't believe this was going on. The world was coming to an end, but they gave you a play-by-play.
So they kept watching.
Perhaps they kept watching once again, but to be fair to them, this is new, so they probably didn't know about the remote control.
How much does one of those contraptions run?
Oh, with this type of technology, probably thousands of dollars. But my wife sprung for me, and I think you had to put a couple like AA batteries in the back.
It's
or
worth
something.
it.
It's worth every penny, because then the NFL doesn't control my life. I'm able to control. And then
Pepsi.
And then I understand as well, if you don't have one of these, you can actually walk up to your TV and there's buttons on it as well.
There's buttons.
But let's not get crazy. Okay.
Wow.
But here's the other thing is, so they're typing, giving play-by-play. So they're revealing the fact, that they watched the whole thing and they, as adults, could not turn it off. But one more step further. I just ask for consistency. These same families that when they go over to Summer Waves, because they got the summer pass, I'm sure that they are in the turtleneck and jeans section of Summer Waves. They would have to be to have this kind of outrage. So I'm sure.
And with the whole full body suit.
Oh, yeah. Because I know when we go to St. Augustine, and that Saturday after July 4th, when you cannot turn around because of the people on top of you, we stay in a trench coat only section. So people do, I think, have on swimwear, but they're covered up by trench coats. And so these same people, I'm sure, are in the turtleneck only section.
Trench coat.
All I'm asking for is consistency. Consistency is all that we are asking for.
And and you made a good point. Where were they at when Adam Levine exposed all?
You're being unfair. Adam Levine was hot, not that kind of hot. He was warm. He was sweat, and he needed to air out some. You're being way too unfair about this kind of thing. So
I'm correct.
Here's my next comment that I absolutely just wanted to beat my. Well, it'd be all right with me if they just put George Strait out there and let him sing Amarillo by Morning. Listen, I would love that too, but we do understand why Pepsi doesn't have George Strait standing, because Pepsi has data and indicates that this corrupt world that we live in would rather see another. You're going to find this hard to believe, but the world would rather see a bunch of male watchers of an NFL football game in Miami would rather see Shakira and J-Lo doing their thing than George Strait on the end of the stage. So those kind of statements of that their moral compass is pointed so high that they could only tolerate George Strait. I would have preferred George Strait. Little Amarillo by Morning. Nothing says halftime than old George at the end of the stage, just he and his guitar. But we know why they don't have. By the way, George Strait's not going to be there next year. Let's predict right now who will be there next year. I've got my feeling.
Who do you think?
The Biebs. You've had the Bieber fever before.
They've got to go back to it. They'll switch back to a male.
Yeah, and it'll be the Biebs. And so, by the way, and Biebs has got some deep stuff too. My good friend Brett Miller is a big Bieber fever kind of fan, and so I said, Brett, what's your favorite Justin Bieber song? He says, Clay, that one that's recently come out. He says you should the lyrics just pour from his mouth. They're deep. So I've pulled those up. According to Brett, the song's name is Yummy. Okay, so this is how deep we should expect next year's Super Bowl to be. I've got the lyrics up for Yummy. What do you warm up? What's the do re mi?
La 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 la.
Yeah. La 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 la. I want to do Biebs. I want to do justice to Biebs.
Yeah.
But here's the lyrics to hold on, I'm trying to keep a straight face, to Yummy,
Yummy.
by Justin Bieber.
Yummy by Justin Bieber.
And I'm sure when he does the Super Bowl, he's going to be on his best behavior also.
Sure.
So we won't have any reason to be just aghast by. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. This is, excuse me. Let's have a proper introduction. Hey, Mr. Producer, could you say, this is Yummy by Justin
And
Bieber.
now, this is Yummy by Justin Bieber.
Thank you. Yeah. You got that yummy yum, that yummy yum, that yummy yummy. Yeah. You got that yummy yum, that yummy yum, that yummy yummy. Say the word, on my way. Yeah, babe. Yeah, babe. Yeah, babe. Any night, any day, say the word, on my way, in the morning or the late, say the word, on my way. Bonafide stallion, ain't no stable. No, you stay on the run. Ain't on the side, you're number one. You got that yummy yum, that yummy yum, that yummy, yummy, yum. So,
Man, that's like Shakespeare.
it is. So next year, when some type of mind-numbing music is at halftime like this, let's do this. Let's go ahead and write our Facebook rant well in advance, because we know exactly what we're going to say, and so that is it. I've taken my blood pressure medicine. I feel a little bit better now.
You know, and when you sang that, I could just see, you know, because I hear that Subway right next to Miller Tire gets really busy around 11:30.
11:45. Yeah, that's right.
And, you know, I could just see them singing this
That
song
song,
while
yeah.
they're eating their Subway.
Yeah, watching Turning Wrenches and oh yummy yummy. So at the end of the day, that is my take on the Super Bowl, and just thank goodness that we now have this in our hands and we're able to own our lives back again. Now, on a similar type of thing today, I also want to cover the father-daughter dance.
Yeah, father-daughter.
It was fantastic. By far, I had the prettiest little date in the room. Oh, Neely Thomas was looking better than ever. But I had some real time of pride I want to brag about. And I think you'll probably have an appreciation for this. So I went with my daughter. She's a freshman. She's 15 years old, father-daughter date. She said some things and did some things in this thing that I'm just like, maybe I'm not a miserable failure as a parent after all, you know? And so, of course, this girl never made a B in her life. If she makes a 96, we have to take her to therapy so that she can talk it out with a counselor, because that puts a bunch of pressure on herself. I could care less about grades. I think that disappoints her. I keep just saying, if you would make a B and just get it out of your system, you'd feel a lot better, but she won't do any of this. But so I don't care anything about her grades. I think in the 7th grade, she made higher on the SAT than I made in the 11th grade. That doesn't impress me. But let me tell you some things that did impress me. First of all, she says, Dad, I don't really want to go eat anywhere before, but afterwards, we can just go hang out at the Huddle House.
Huddle House.
And I was just like, I'm doing something right.
You done good.
I done good. Okay, moving forward a little bit. Now, here's the things that really impress me is when we get there, she's like, listen, I want to make sure that you're clear. I'm not just here. I want to dance. I'm like, I will cut a main rug. But we got there and we had some troubles. And she's just like, well, some of this music you really can't dance to. For example, just out of her pure pride, she would not go do like a Macarena. She's just like, that's mind numbing. I'm not going to go dance to the Macarena. And so so we were sitting down and we were enjoying she only drinks water. I was drinking the apple juice or the Sprite, grapefruit juice, the mixture, the punch kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, you just hear the dunk, 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 like that. And it was Sweet Home Alabama. And she about knocked over the table to get to that dance floor. Once again, I was like,
You done good.
I done good. And so but then they would play songs that weren't necessarily a bad song, but I don't know how you dance to it with your daughter. But like they played Beat It by Michael Jackson. And we tried our best, but that was just a little.
That's setting the bar pretty high.
And so I was like, well, Neely, if you could hear any song to dance with your old pops here, what would it be? And she goes, I'd like to shag the brown-eyed girl. Now, listen, from the music they were playing, Taylor Swift on repeat, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, and I'm not complaining. They knew their audience. The audience, for the most part, was young girls that were 8, 9, and 10.
Daughters.
And when you play Taylor Swift, they get excited.
Sure.
And when you play I'm gonna go to the Old Town Road, and I can't remember the song, but Billy Ray Cyrus has a part in it.
Mm-hmm.
And Neely just very, very privately gives me the. But she got it because the young girls, love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But she goes, "I'd love Brown Eyed Girl," and I was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you, little Van Morrison." So I do what any good father does in this case. Mr. Producer, can you guess what I do? Because Brown Eyed Girl's not in their rotation. What do I do to make my little girl's night?
You got to go get the CD. Did you have the CD?
No, this is the 21st century, Mr. Producer. they can look it up on their computer. Yes, I went and got the 8-track. My Van Morrison 8-track.
DJs they had there.
Yeah, so they had a DJ. So like any good parent, I went and gave the DJ $5.
You had it on tape. Did you have it on tape?
No, I didn't have it on tape. I went and gave him $5.
$5.
And I said, I appreciate this has been a lot of work. And so at a Christian father-daughter dance, I slipped the DJ a $5 bill, and I said, but if there's any way that you could play Brown Eyed Girl, it would mean a lot to me. And I walk back down that stage, and when Neely starts walking up to me, they start playing Brown Eyed Girl. I was the man.
Oh man,
So
you really did do good.
It was a super, super night. I mean, the event's well organized. Everybody's heart's in the right place. The music was, I'm just kidding about the music. It was designed for much younger girls. It was perfect.
Sure.
But I will tell you how I knew also that Brown Eyed Girl was the right song. It's because the older volunteers that were there, the adults even older than me, they came right on out to the stage. You can't turn that down.
Yeah.
So they came right on out to the stage. So that was a fun evening, a great event. And Neely and I had a really big time. Now, she's certainly a girl of ritual. And so every morning on the way, we get to a certain point and she turns on the same song to kind of get her pumped up for school. Mm-hmm. This also makes me proud. Now, I'll probably be on the top of people's prayer list because of this as well. But Can't Stop by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's our go-to school song. It's
Okay.
Can't Stop by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then she kind of gets, pumped for school.
Yeah.
So I think there are some things that I'm doing correctly as a parent. And I think just the father-daughter dance just solidified the fact that her mom and I are getting some things.
Well,
correct.
at least if not everything, the most important.
The most important things. Yeah. Yeah. Cause I could care less if she goes to Harvard,
No.
but, her picking Brown Eyed Girl out of all songs to dance, with to her daddy, that was a special moment. So I said, she's going to be just fine. Anything that you have, that you can think of? We've been going for a while. I'm sorry, I got carried away about the halftime show. By the way, I didn't even ask you. Did you watch the halftime show?
I did not.
Okay,
I followed.
So even if you did, like right now, you're like, oh no, of course I didn't watch that kind of. So, but you follow the comments afterwards.
I followed the news comments afterwards, and it was pretty contested.
Oh yeah. Just
hot, heated.
yeah. Just shocked and floored that J-Lo would be dancing provocatively.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy,
yeah.
that was
I was like, what? I was much the same way you are. What were you expecting?
that was like back in the 80s, somebody went to an Eddie Murphy, concert hall, and he's a comedian, and you won't believe this, but Eddie Murphy said a bad word.
Oh, he
Listen,
said it.
I'm not approving Eddie Murphy, but don't be shocked by it. That's what the man built his career around.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, we went to this. You won't believe this NASCAR race we went to. It was loud. That's the type of post that these people. It was unconscionably loud at that NASCAR race. Yeah. So anyhow, I think that wraps me up for the day because I probably have irritated a bunch of people, and their hearts were in the right place, letting.
But sometimes you get so caught up, you just forget what you have. You have control.
You do have control over
and
these
thanks
kind of
to
things.
modern technology, you can have remote control.
Very well played.
Oh,
well played.
Thank you.
Well played. Remote control. All right. Well, that wraps us up for the day. Oh wait,
A share.
Oh yes, thank you.
And a comment.
Yeah. Don't forget share and comment
For $200.
$200. We'll announce that next week. $200 gift certificate to Jake and Ed's, the finest men's clothing store from sea to shining sea, as far as I'm concerned. But once again, you guys have a fantastic day, and we just thank you for keeping up with us here at the Clay in Woodrow. So y'all take care.